I have been having major anxiety preparing to film this video. I saw my friend Baddie Bean here on YouTube film a video recently where she said if she lost all of her makeup, what 20 things would she buy first? And I've seen quite a few people do this popping around. So I thought I would do it. And honestly, I've been avoiding it for a little while because that is a scary thought to me, okay? And I realized a few things while preparing this video. I definitely am not a makeup minimalist. I use way more than 20 things to do my makeup, and I love eyeshadow palettes. Hello and welcome if you are new here. My name is Rachel, and if you're not new here, thank you so much for coming back. I narrowed it down to 20 things, and I tried to give as many spaces to eyeshadow palettes as possible, but I did it, okay? I did it. These are the 20 things I would buy first if I lost my makeup right now. I'm gonna link everything down below in the description box. I'm also going to link Betty Jean's channel. You should go and follow her if you don't already for sure. And I will link her video as well that she did with this. But let's get started. So a few stipulations is these have to be things that are still available, that I am able at the moment of filming, that I am able to actually buy them. There were quite a few things that I thought about, but they were discontinued. So obviously that doesn't fit the criteria for the video. And also this is really just for right now in this moment. The day that I'm filming this is probably the day before you're watching it. Today is March 26th. It really depends on the time of year, what products I reach for, especially for my complexion, because I do get quite a bit darker in the summertime. I tan pretty easily, and I have very oily, acne-prone skin, but again, in the summertime, it gets way more oily than it does in the winter. So these are the products that I'm really reaching for right now. Let's get started. I started off with these two eye products that I use every single time I do my makeup. Well, the NYX Glitter Primer I use, I would say probably 9 times out of 10. All right, but every single time I do my eyeshadow, I use the Urban Decay Eyeshadow Primer Potion, specifically in the style anti-aging. This to me is just the perfect eye primer. I've tried to use other eye primers in the past, and I always go back to this one. It is just my perfect eye primer. I feel like it helps make my eyeshadows pop without being too heavy on my lids. It's not sticky. It is almost like a very, very lightly tinted, but once you work it in, the tint goes away completely. And it is almost like a smoothing primer type of feel where it has that smoothing effect, which I think is the anti-aging part, I'm guessing, but I just love this primer. It is my favorite. And then the NYX Glitter Primer I put underneath just about every single time I put on a shimmer shade on my lid, I'm using this. I would, again, 9 times out of 10. I did have a comment recently saying, somebody asking can you please specify when you use the NYX Glitter Primer? First of all, I always do. If I'm doing a tutorial, I will always tell you when I'm putting this on. And it's very rare that I don't use this. I guess the only times I don't use this is if I'm using a very, very emollient shadow or a cream shadow, where this is not necessary in my opinion. But other than that, I do use this every single time. So these are necessities to me. I don't need a primer, like a face primer. It's nice when I have done my skincare and I'm not gonna do my makeup for a few hours. For me, moisturizer is enough as a primer. So we're not gonna include that. Now, I love Betty Jean because she said she didn't need foundation as one of her products. Can't relate. Can't relate, okay? I don't have the nicest skin. I get really bad breakouts. So I definitely feel like I need a foundation. And again, at this moment in time right now, my skin is not the greatest. As you can see in the demo, I have a constellation of zits on my right cheek. So I need a medium to full coverage foundation, really. If I'm gonna do my makeup, that's what I'm gonna do most of the time. So I have the Makeup Forever HD Skin Foundation. I have mine in the shade 1N14. Right now, the shade match is pretty good. I am a neutral olive, and this foundation I don't really think has an olive selection. And the neutral one does run a little orangey on me, but if I blend it down my neck, girl, no one can notice. It is one of my favorite foundations of all time. It is a beautiful, I would say, satin to matte finish on me personally, a medium to full coverage. It's very smoothing and it looks like skin. Doesn't feel heavy on the skin like a lot of full coverage foundations can. It's just wonderful. The packaging is really nice. I almost chose the Fenty Beauty Ease Drops Blurring Skin Tint, but again, if I only had to choose one of the two foundations, I would be choosing this one just because the Fenty one is much more light coverage, and don't get me wrong, I still wear that often, but today I was looking at my cheek and I was like, we need a little bit more. We need a little bit more. So that's why I chose the Makeup Forever foundation. Something else that I use every single time I do my makeup is a color corrector for my under eyes. I have very dark under eyes, always have, probably always will. I saw a picture of me at my dad's house. I think I must have been 4 years old and I had dark circles and I was like, okay, at least it's not my age or my lack of sleep. It's just how my eyes are. So all that to say, the current under eye corrector that I've been reaching for is from Sigma. This is the Spectrum Color Correcting Duo in light to medium. I do like how there are two different colors that are featured here, a lighter pink and a darker pink that you could, obviously it's for light and medium skin. This is not my favorite color corrector. I much prefer the e.l.f. one, this e.l.f. camo color corrector in peach. But right now for the skin tone that I am, more of like a light skin tone, this is a little too deep for me, but come the summertime, this is the only one I'm reaching for because it is a little bit more satin to matte for my under eyes. This is very emollient. If you ever tried the Becca under eye brightening corrector, this is very similar in my opinion. Very, very similar. I like it. I'm reaching for it. So I would continue to want to use it because I want a color corrector. It's not my ultimate favorite. And by the way, like these aren't my ultimate holy grail products. These are just things that A, are still available, and B, things that I'm reaching for now. So this is one I would put into my countdown. For concealer, this one is my favorite concealer of all time. And that is the JOA Perfect Complexion Eye Serum Concealer. I have mine in the shade LN035. It is pretty much done. It's one of these poof ball things, which is disgustingly dirty. I do apologize, but this is my ultimate favorite concealer. It is perfect for me, except for the packaging. Everything else about it is absolutely perfect. It is a medium coverage, super easy to blend, stays put without looking dry and cakey under the eyes, has minimal amount of creasing if I set it, and the color match is really good. I don't have any complaints with this. It's affordable because it's drugstore. Now, I will say I did buy this. This is my second one. I'm almost done with it. And I think they have changed the packaging. I'm hoping they haven't changed the formula. So I'm still counting this because they still have this type of concealer available, but it's in different packaging. I'm hoping it's the same concealer. Let me know if you've picked up this concealer recently with the new packaging and you've used this one before. Is it the same? I really hope it is. But all that to say, number one favorite concealer, absolutely. If I had to get rid of all my concealers, I would happily just have this one. Powder, I chose a loose powder. That is just my preferred type of powder. And I chose the Maybelline Fit Me Loose Finishing Powder in Fair Light. I usually use either Fair or Fair Light or mix them together. But again, right now, for my skin tone, this works fine. I really like to set my under eyes with this because it is not like a mattifying powder. It's considered a finishing powder. So it still has a little bit of a moisturizing quality to it, if that makes sense. It is a little bit thicker, but not in like a drying way. It adds a little extra coverage under the eyes because it is tinted, and it just provides a really beautiful finish, honestly. Now, I won't set my whole face with this, especially in the summertime, because I need a little more help in that department with my oily skin. But for right now, when it is transitioning in the spring, I live in Florida, by the way, I should have said that in the beginning. So I live in a very humid climate, but right now it's been pretty not humid. And so this works great for me to set my T-zone with. All right, a couple more eye products to talk about. I absolutely need a liquid liner. I use liquid liner, I would say 9 times out of 10 when I do my makeup. And my favorite liquid liner is the Unearthly Cosmetics liquid eyeliner pen. I'm pretty sure this is being discontinued. I don't want to speak that if it's not true, but it has been on sale for a really long time. Full price, it costs $8. So it's very affordable. I believe I've done this video before. I don't know that I've narrowed it down to 20 products before, but in the past, I've always chosen the KVD tattoo liner in Trooper Black. And honestly, this is a dupe. I don't ever say the word dupe unless I truly mean it. This is a dupe. Like, there's no difference, in my opinion, apart from the packaging is slightly different. Like the weight of this one is lighter, but again, this is $8. The KVD one's $24, and the price. That's the only difference. It is a brush tip. It glides on so smooth onto the eyes. It is just incredible. I've purchased several of them, especially like panic buying them, hoping that they don't get discontinued. But it is a phenomenal liquid liner. I usually either just draw a line on my upper lash line if I'm going to apply lashes, or I do a wing. So I did do a wing with this, and then I used a black eyeshadow to kind of smudge it out. So this is a must-have for me. I feel like I kind of went in a random order here. I didn't really organize my thoughts very well, but here we are. For my lashes, now I am not wearing false lashes today. I would say I don't not wear lashes a lot. I'm usually wearing false lashes, but today I didn't feel like it. And the reason is this combo here gives me a little more confidence with my sad baby lashes. So I always use a lash primer. Let's again say 9 times out of 10. We can't say always because. So this is the Grande Primer Pre-Mascara Lengthener and Thicker. This is from Grande Lash, and it is just like a white lash primer with plastic bristles. It works wonderfully for me. I really enjoy it. I mean, my all-time favorite lash primer is the Marc Jacobs one that got discontinued like 4 years ago. I still think and dream about that lash primer, hoping one day it will come back. But this is a really good one. I've purchased several tubes of it. I really like it. So I will continue to use it, and this would be one of the 20 products I would want to keep. And then honestly, my current favorite mascara is the Buxom Lash Mascara in Blackest Black. I have received a couple of PR packages from Buxom, surprisingly, and this was one of the things in one of the packages, and honestly, I think it's a phenomenal mascara. It has plastic bristles, which I prefer. It has an hourglass shaped wand, which I prefer. It does a really good job of lengthening, separating, and volumizing and curling my lashes, which is great because it gives it all to me. And again, I have sad baby lashes. They grow straight down. They're very sparse. The combo of these together is great. This adds a little bit thickening to it so that this has something to grab onto. And it's been a really nice combo. And like I said, I'm not wearing lashes today. I feel pretty confident with it. And I'm wearing eyeliner, so it's hard to see my lashes, but it does a pretty good job with my sad lashes. And then speaking of lashes, I have my false lash pick. There are so many false lashes that I absolutely love, but these to me are the most versatile ones and the ones that I reach for a lot. So these are the Kiss Look So Natural Trio Lash Medium Combo. I buy these in store at Walgreens, but I also believe they are available on Amazon. They are just a individual lash banded in threes, obviously trio lash. They're very easy to apply, and they give more of like a customizable type of look. You can add fewer to make it look more natural. You can add more to make it look more voluminous. But I feel like when I wear these, they look like almost like I'm wearing lash extensions. Like, are they your real lashes and you have really pretty lashes, or are they fake lashes? Like, it's hard to tell. So I love that as more of a versatile look. And again, if I could only choose one type of lash to immediately purchase, this would be the one I would choose because I wear these a lot. You can reuse them a lot. I fully enjoy these. I wore them on my wedding day, if that tells you anything. Going back to complexion, because I skipped over this, this is my favorite all-in-one face palette, my current favorite, and I'm knocking 3 products out at once with this. So this is the Smashbox Halo Sculpt and Glow face palette. I have mine in the colorway Back to Cali. It has 2 blushes, a bronzer, and a highlight, and I love all 4 of these products. I've been reaching for this non-stop for the past 2 to 3 months whenever I bought this. I have been reaching for it non-stop. All of the products in here work for me great. The bronzer is buildable. It is the perfect neutral tone. It's really easy to control because it is that more sheer buildable formula. It adds a slight glow to the face. Same thing with the blushes, exactly what I just described. Buildable, a slight glow without being glittery or sparkly. They're more of like neutral pinks. I would say that these aren't very different, but I like to mix them together. And then the highlight is Champagne Pop from Becca, that is now Smashbox or whatever, but it's called C-Pop. But it's Champagne Pop, which I love Champagne Pop. I think it's beautiful. It's just a gorgeous, blingy, yet neutral highlighter, quote, neutral highlighter. You know, it can go with many different looks. So I would definitely choose to buy this because it's got all of those products in one. And by the way, I don't know if I said this, I'm wearing all of these products on my face today. I mean, you're seeing the B-roll clips being popped in, but I can prove that I can create a good look with these products. Did I add anything extra into this look? I did put a cream eyeliner in my waterline, which I'm not including in this, but we're just gonna pretend like that didn't happen. Okay, for brows, Here are my two brow products that I'm choosing. I have the Benefit Precisely My Brow Pencil in the shade 3.5. This is my current favorite brow pencil. It is just perfect consistency. I usually mix 3.5 and 4.5 because, well, actually this works out great. I need to get my hair colored, so my hair is fading a little bit. So this works right now. 4.5 is deeper, so when my hair is freshly colored, it matches a little bit better, but this is like the perfect consistency, not too waxy, not too creamy. It is just perfect, tiny little tip. It does the job well, so I love it. And then my favorite brow gel that I've had as my favorite brow gel for years and years and years and years, nothing compares in my opinion, is the ABH Clear Brow Gel. Not the like newer one that's soft setting or whatever the heck it's called, no. I want the original glue, like it glues my brows. I have quite full brows naturally, thankfully. I'm so grateful for that. And this really does a good job of keeping them in place. It has quite a large applicator, so just be aware of that if you have more sparse brows or thin brows. I don't know if this would be too big of a wand for you, but again, with me with full brows, I like it. It's my favorite clear brow gel. Can't live without it. And then the lip combo that I have on my lips today is Charlotte Tilbury Iconic Nude Lip Liner. It's my favorite lip liner of all time. It is basically my lips, but slightly deeper. It's just a gorgeous pinky nude without too much pink, but it's not too warm. It is honestly the perfect lip liner for me, in my opinion. This is the second one now that I'm going through. It's almost halfway done. And I wish it was cheaper, but it's still great and I love it. It's the right consistency. It's creamy without being too creamy. It's great and it lasts. So I would line my lips and fill in my lips with this and then pop on a gloss. Originally, I was gonna choose the Fenty Beauty Gloss Bomb in the shade Fenty Glow, which is my favorite gloss of all time. If I'm gonna be honest with you, I love it. But I will say, this gloss from ColourPop is, in my opinion, I won't call it a dupe because I don't think it's a dupe, but it is very similar, very similar. The color and like how it looks on the lips, very similar. This is in the shade It Girl. It's their ultra glossy lip. Oh yeah. It has a similar like light fruity scent that the Fenty Beauty one does, but this one is thinner. The Fenty Beauty one is definitely more of a glazed donut look to the lips. This one is a little bit thinner, so if you like that, you would probably like this. And I'm choosing this because it's way more affordable, right? And if I can get the same effect on the lips and pay half the price, I will definitely choose to do that. I really enjoy this gloss a lot. And if I did my math correct, listen, I was a fine and performing arts major. I think I took one semester of a basic math class in college, and that was many years ago, so I can barely do basic math is my point. So if I did my math right, that leaves me with 5 eyeshadow palettes, okay? And so this was hard. This was hard. This was the reason I was so stressed out. Like it's a hypothetical situation, Rachel, calm down. But here we go. I chose these 5 palettes as the first 5 palettes I would buy. Number 1, Blend Bunny Blends. I think like this, if I had this and maybe one other palette, I could survive. Like if I had something that had beautiful shimmers, I could survive with this because I feel I can create obviously so many different looks with this. This is a palette that I dip into all the time when I'm needing a certain matte shadow because of all the different shades in here. And the formula of Blend Bunny mattes is unmatched in my opinion. It is absolutely phenomenal. The most perfect blendable, user-friendly type of formula. And so I have everything I need in here, really, or not everything, but I've got a lot of what I could need. I love having a matte white, a matte black, a few different neutrals down here that I can pull into, and a plethora of different colorful shades. 100%, this would be one of the first ones I would repurchase. The next thing I would purchase is the Natasha Denona My Dream Palette. I absolutely love this palette. It is one of my favorite palettes. Obviously, that's why it's in this video. And also, I didn't really put any mini palettes in here, like small palettes, because I can only repurchase 5, right? So I'm trying to get the biggest bang for my buck, if that makes sense. I love this palette. I love everything about this palette. It's light to deep. in the mattes, which I love having a matte black. Warm tones, neutral tones, the shimmers in this are beautiful. There is a multi-chrome down here that shifts from purple to green. I don't know if you can see it. Some of the shimmers in here are a little bit sparkly. Some are a little bit more on that traditional metallic, and I love a traditional metallic. I love a smooth, sparkly metallic, and I do love having a couple of pops of multi-chromes, but you're gonna see as I go through these palettes, I don't really have too many special shades because I do just love a really pretty, standard, sparkly shimmer. This is the good Natasha Denona quality that I love, and it is just something that I can create so many full looks with, and I could travel with this on its own and be very satisfied. Another one of my absolute favorite palettes, and this is the smallest palette of the 5, is the Unearthly Cosmetics Leather and Lace palette. If there's something you should know about me if you're new here is that I love neutrals, but my 2 favorite colors to wear if I'm gonna wear color is purple and green. So I wanted to make sure I could create purple and green looks with this, and look, we have a row of greens, we have a row of neutrals, and we have a row of purples. And this is the new reformulated version. I've yet to try this one. Amanda from Unearthly just gifted this to me when I saw her a few weeks ago. And so I'm so excited to try the reformulated version. The original version, I love. So I can't wait to try out this version, but the 3 shimmers here are just absolutely beautiful. Unearthly mattes, I would say, are a little bit more on the pigmented side, but still easy to work with. Their shimmers are just so beautifully smooth and sparkly and dimensional. This would definitely be one I would be picking up first. Another one that the Smokin' Hot palette from ColourPop. I love this palette. I love it. It came in my top 10 palettes of 2023 for a reason. Like, this is me in a palette. I love warm tone neutrals. With the summer approaching, I'm so drawn to these tones. I love how they make my eye color pop. And I just feel myself when I wear it. Whenever I like created a look with this, I was like, wow. Oh my gosh, I love how it came out. So this is one I would definitely be reaching for. I think the formulas in this are really good. The mattes are really good. The shimmers, there's different formulas of shimmers in here. You've got more standard metallics. You've got little more sparkly metallics. You have this glitter hybrid situation that ColourPop has been doing. I've got a couple of options for inner corner highlights that I can pull into for this, for my other looks and my other palettes. So yeah, definitely would be picking that one up. And then the last palette I would be choosing is the palette that came in at number 1 in my 2023 palette rankings. Spoiler alert if you missed it. That is the Full Fantasy palette from Laura Lee Los Angeles and Lunar Beauty. Again, to me, this is just like so beautiful, so yummy. It is a neutral palette with a twist. We've got some pops of purple, we've got a matte black, and I can create more of like an olive green look, which in terms of greens, olive greens, warm greens, yellowy greens are my favorite. So I definitely wanted to make sure I could do that with this palette. This duochrome purple to blue is so pretty. It adds that little bit of blue, which you know, as you can see, I'm not a blue lover, but that is such a beautiful pop of color in there. The formulas on this are really good. The mattes are just easy to use, good mattes. The shimmers are standard shimmers, really beautiful on the eyelid, not chunky, not textured. So those are the 5 palettes I think I would purchase first. Now again, there were some other palettes I was considering, but they were discontinued. So those are the ones I came up with. It was very hard to narrow it down to 5. And remember, they're not necessarily my favorite palettes in my collection, but the ones that like, if I could only have 5 right now, what am I wanting to reach for right now? All right, and that is it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Leave me your thoughts down below in the comments. I would love to know what are some things that you would really pick up first if you lost all of your makeup, if you want to do 20, if you want to do 10, let me know. I would love to know. And of course, I am going to link Betty Jean's channel down below in the description box. And let me know any of your thoughts about anything I talked about because I love hearing from you. And if you did enjoy this video, please give it a thumbs up. That helps me out a lot when you do that. And if you're not already subscribed to my channel, I would love it if you would consider subscribing before you leave. I do upload videos weekly and I'd love to see you back on my channel again. I want to thank you so much for watching and I will see you next time. Bye.